Hello, everybody. My name is Jared Chavez, and I'll be presenting on the EGF pathway, also known as the EGF, RAS, RAF, MEK, ERK, MYC signaling pathway. So here we have a self-made diagram. This is just explaining the signaling pathway that is used when during the EGFR um, signaling pathway. So to start out, we have EGF. It's also known as the epidermal growth factor. The EGF protein binds to EGFR, the EGFR receptor. Um, this is not one of the ways, this is not like only one of the ways that the EGFR protein, the EGFR receptor can be stimulated or started. It can also be started or activated by um, a protein known as TGFA. It can be produced through actually this pathway. So one of the outcomes of this pathway can be the TGF protein, which will auto-stimulate EGFR. So basically, this protein or this pathway can just auto-repeat itself, which makes it also very harmful because it'll be harder to stop. So after the EGFR protein or the receptor, um, the EGFR receptor activates RAS, but it activates RAS through the two proteins, SOS and GRB2. Um, so these proteins activate each other through phosphorylation. And then after this, we have RAS activating another protein called RAF. And then RAF then activates MEK, also known as MEK. And then MEK activates ERK. So this is mediated through MAPK, and ERK then translocates through to the nucleus to phosphorylate MYC, and this eventually causes cell proliferation and metastasis. So ERK will translocate into the nucleus and producing multiple proteins, one of them shown as MYC, and this results in the total effect of cell proliferation, metastasis, and this can result in cancer pathogenesis. The effect of the activation. Um, so the main effect from the EGF pathway is cell proliferation, the cell growth and division of epidermal and epithelial cells. Um, and this pathway can also induce the transcription of certain genes. So one example is the RAF protein seen in the middle. It can induce the phosphorylation of proteins that control apoptosis, which then results in a change in the result of apoptosis. And this pathway is a oncogene. Um, I believe it's an oncogene because the main result of this pathway is cell proliferation and cell survival. So it's basically um, promoting cell growth. So that is the main role of oncogenes. Um, the hallmark of cancer that the proteins contribute to is the main one is proliferative signaling because it promotes cell proliferation from the activation of the pathway. So here we have the next slide. One drug I found that inhibits or causes a change in the pathway is called cetuximab. What this drug does, it basically inhibits the binding of the ligands to EGFR. As you see, there's a red arrow up there. So the drug will actually take place of the ligand, and it will not allow any ligands to bind to EGFR. So this will in turn block EGFR phosphorylation. So this will result in no cell proliferation or no production of the TGFA protein that we saw that auto repeats this whole process of the signaling pathway. So this drug will inhibit, it's an inhibitor, it will inhibit the negative effects of the signaling pathway. So here are the questions. Um, how does EGFR get activated? How will the inhibitor cetuximab affect the end result? What are the roles of SOS and GRB2? If we remove MEK, will ERK be inactivated or hyperactivated? How does MYC get activated? How does MYC affect cell survival? Here are my references. Thank you for watching.